Hey guys, I'm Maddie and welcome back to my channel. Buckle up because we are in for a long one. We are doing a 24-hour reading challenge. There's a few different ways that you can go about doing this. There's the first option where you literally just read for 24 consecutive hours, but then you take breaks in between to like eat, go to the bathroom, do random stuff, but your clock doesn't change. Like you just have the 24 hours and you just start say at like 6 p.m. the one night and then you'd finish at 6 p.m. the next day. Or the second option that I'm going to be doing is where you set a timer for 24 hours and you start and stop it every time you read. So like, I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like I don't need to over-explain this. You start reading, you start your timer, and then when you're done reading for that period, you stop it to sleep, eat, drink. I'm gonna have to work at points too. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just reading for 24 hours to see how many books I can finish. I am also counting audiobooks because that is considered reading, and it is the Christmas time, so I have a lot of shit that needs to get done, so I can't be sitting all of the time right now, but listening to an audiobook still counts as reading in my opinion, and it allows me to still get the things done that I need to. I'm very excited, so thanks for joining, and let's see how many books we can read in 24 hours. Cheers to a late night. It is 6:20 on December 21st. 6:21 on December 21. Wow. Synchronizing. Anyways, I'm gonna start the timer and I only have a little bit of Silver Flame left. So this technically doesn't count as a book finished, like started and finished in this video. I'm gonna finish it in this video, but I'm not gonna count it for the total books read in this 24 hours. So buckle up, baby. Anyways. Okay, let's start. There we go. Can you even see it? Okay, let's sit and start. No better way to start this reading vlog off than he's got the walk. You know, when a male knows how to use his cock well and struts around with that swagger that basically declares it to everyone. I'd hope he knows how to use it well after being alive for 500 years. Why is this book... Oh, I look like I have a bald spot. Why is this book so profound and deep? That's the key, isn't it? To know the darkness will always remain, but how you choose to face it, handle it, that's the important part. To not let it consume, to focus upon the good, the things that fill you with wonder. The struggle with the darkness is worth it just to see such things. I was not expecting this. This is hitting home. A little over an hour. Oh, now you can't see it at all. That's just how this is going. About an hour, 20 minutes in. And I'm crying. This book. This one is so good. So good. It's my favorite. It's really getting me in the feels. Feeling a little emo right now. What the fuck? I was not expecting this to be so heartfelt, profound, sweet. Like, who hurt you, Sarah J. Maas? Who hurt you and then helped you heal? Because everything in this comes from the soul. I swear. 5 stars. Easily 5 stars. Best book of the whole entire series. I'm saying that right now. Cassian and Nesta have my heart. I was never annoyed by Nesta. Like, I don't know, I had respect for her, I appreciated her, and yeah, 5 freaking stars. Oh, I guess we can stop the timer now. So we're stopping at 21 hours and 57 minutes. And it's about 8:30. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break before I start the next book. Probably go on my phone for a little bit, scroll, and then we'll get back into it. I'm gonna have a whole reading vlog posted on my channel, so if you are interested in more of my thoughts about this, go watch that video, more in depth, but just know I loved this. There's a good balance between romance and spice and plot and adventure, and I feel like I understood the like fantasy part of this book a lot more. I think it also helped because it was a little less focused on the fantasy, more on the romance, but again, go watch that other video if you want more thoughts. Okay, well, after that, I think I need a cutie little romance that I know won't play with my feelings too much, or at least I hope not. And that's going to be Swift and Saddled by Lyla Sage. This is the second book in the Revel Blue Ranch novel series. The first one is Done and Dusted, and this series follows brothers. The first one was about Clementine and Luke Brooks. He's like a family friend. He was pretty close with the family growing up. So this was Clementine and Luke, and then this follows Clementine's brother. What brother? Wes, and a girl named Ada Hart. Don't really know much about this one, but I know the third book is out, and the fourth one has been announced and will be released in 2025. So I need to read this before the other ones. And these are just like cutie little small town, country, western, cowboy romances. And it'll be great. These, tell me these are not the most beautiful books you've seen. My hair, on the other hand, is a whole other story, but these, okay. We should start the timer before I read. I need to do something with my hair. So it is 9:18. We have 21:57. Starting book 2. Damn. What the hell were they putting in the water in Meadowlark, Wyoming? Same, Ada. Same. This is my fifth time trying to record this. So please bear with me because I'm losing my marbles a little bit. But I'm 37 pages in. And we follow Ada Hart and Weston Ryder. Ada is an interior designer, and she's been hired by Wes to design the guest house on his ranch. So Ada she arrives at Meadowlark, goes to the Devil's Boot, which is the dive bar owned by Luke from Done and Dusted. This book is technically, the trope is brother's best friend. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so Ada's at the dive bar. She's just having some drinks, eating some food, and then she locks eyes with this mysterious green-eyed haughty cowboy. Takes him to the back hall. They start making out. They get rudely interrupted by Luke. So doesn't even get this cowboy's name, but hightails it out of there because she's so embarrassed. Like, oh, I'm not the type of girl who does this. Anyways, the next morning she goes to meet with Wes at the ranch. And you see where this is going? Wes was the green-eyed hottie from the dive bar. Ah. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. I was struggling. So this is not a slow burn. Well, it's like a intense burn yourself, but then the flame goes out, and then I don't know if it'll take a long time to reignite, but close proximity, forced to be together because she is working for him, and this is going to be a long process because they haven't even broke ground yet, so they're going to be together for a long time. I don't know what it is, but this writing feels like very immature, and I don't typically make comments about writing because ain't no way am I a writer, so props to them, but like, I don't know, just drawing helped my brain be kinder to me. That is a sentence in this book. I don't know, just some of the sentences, I'm like, it just feels a little immature, childish. Not childish, I don't want to say that, I don't want to be rude, but like, what the contents of this book, what it is, doesn't really translate to the writing style. I feel like there's just a bit of disconnect between what this book is trying to be and how it's actually written. It's very simple, which isn't bad, but it doesn't really fit, I don't think. This just proves my point. This man's name is Chance. Not Chase. Chance. What the fuck? I don't know. Oh my god. And we're only 61 pages in, and we've only been talking about how they are both like lusting after each other, but they can't be together. They won't allow it. They're denying themselves that. They gotta keep it professional. Like, okay, move on. You've said that. Let's get on with the plot. I feel like this book might annoy me. I'm halfway through this book, and I still don't know anything about these characters. Ada is a designer with a shitty ex-husband, and she's very insecure. And Wes is a quote-unquote nice guy. And he doesn't want to be the nice guy. Like, it's cutesy and it's fine. I don't love the romance. Don't really feel the chemistry. They're like kind of mean to each other, but not in a cute way. And the quote, "Kissing Wes was the closest thing I'd ever had to a religious experience." Homegirl, you can only say that in a fantasy. It's like touch her and you die. When it's like a contemporary romance. It doesn't translate the same. Yeah, halfway through and not much has happened. They're just running in circles. Wanting to be with each other, but can't. And Ada doesn't have many girlfriends. We've realized. They're like complete opposites. Like, he's the sunshine and she's the grumpy. He's cooking her favorite food. That's so sweet. Trying to impress her and doing the little subtle things. Sweetheart, he called. That was me. Well, no shit. He's not talking to the dog. It's 11:50. I'm pausing for a snack and some phone time. Also, everyone else is sleeping, so we're gonna have to be quiet. Not to wake the dogs or my family. Moments like this are when I wish I had a Kindle, because I'll be eating a salad while reading. Ready? I don't want to cancel it. Okay, we're going. Back at it! Ada is so for real for this. I was grateful that I put on one of my not trashed black bras today. I was less likely... I was less like... Oh my god. I was less lucky with the underwear. There were definitely a few holes in the ratty black thong. When it's laundry day, beggars can't be choosers. This is actually a very wholesome moment right now between the two of them. This is actually a very wholesome moment between the two of them where they're very vulnerable. Literally a quote. This moment felt raw and vulnerable and important, and I wanted to see him. They're just being very open and laying it all out on the line. And then, so we'll get there together then. This is the best part, and we are on page 180. It took us a bit to get here, but this is good. This is sweet. I finished it. I finished the book. Time to stop the clock. 18 hours and 13 minutes. It's 1:15. I'm going to bed. I will give you my thoughts in the morning. I kind of have to sleep on this. Not really sure how I feel. So I've had some time to think about Swift and Saddled, and I'm giving this 3.75 stars. I'm torn between like a 3.5 and 3.75, but I'm gonna land on 3.75. This was a super cutesy, fun little cowboy romance. It's not life-changing, it's nothing profound, but I had a good-ish time reading it. Like, I enjoyed it. I read it all. It was super quick and easy just to pick up and flip through. I wasn't emotionally connected to any of the characters, like Ada. I didn't really care about her. I loved Wes, but Ada had no stakes in this book. Like, she came from the city. She didn't have any connections there. It didn't matter really if she stayed or left. Like, Wes was gonna be the one to deal with the repercussions of it because his life is in Meadowlark, and I don't know, Ada was running from stuff, whereas Wes had already established his life there. It just, I don't know. It just didn't hit me the same way that Done and Dusted did. That was my favorite. I really enjoyed that. And these characters just didn't feel like they had a whole bunch of depth to them. Like, I don't really know much about Ada or Wes. other than they have the hots for each other, but they don't want to be together, so they're trying to convince themselves that the other person doesn't want to be with them, even though they both feel the same way. And it just felt like we were going in circles and not really progressing anywhere. There was super cute moments, very sweet moments between the two of them. Like when they bring Loretta into the house, I loved that. And it was a fine read. I recommend this book. Yes, I think you should read it. Do I think you should go and rush and pick it up right this instant and need your hands on it immediately? No. It just was meh. It was meh. I also think it was at a slight disadvantage because I think I had very high expectations for this book, and it was like I read it after A Court of Silver Flames. So it had a lot of pressure. So I can't totally fault this, but it was fine. I forgot to tell you one of the most important things that I wanted to tell you. I'm so excited for Gus and Teddy's story and Camille and Dusty's story. Those are the next two books. I think they'll be really good because we've had two books already to get to know those characters and to build a bit of relationships with them. So I think they're going to be more impactful. Whereas Ada, we just get her in this one book, and we see Wes a little bit in the first book, but like we only get Ada's here. So maybe in the following two books I'll like her more, but yeah, I'm so excited for the next two books. I am most looking forward to Gus and Teddy's because I love Teddy. She is a little firecracker, and Gus, stone cold serious. Hey, this is when I wish I had a Kindle. It's 7:30. I'm gonna read for a few minutes before I go downstairs. Before I actually get up. These are my two options. There's my alarm. How many pages is this? How many pages? I want to spoil it. 391. 4. 283. I do have the second book of this one if I like it enough. Yeah, we're gonna start with this. The Maid by Nita Prose. I have no idea what it's about. Maid. It's about a maid. I think it's a mystery or a thriller. We'll find out. Okay. 18 hours and 13 minutes. Somebody left their bookmark. This is a Valley Village book. They got to page 11. And done for this morning. 17 hours and 2 minutes left. I'm on page 55, and we follow Molly, who's a maid at a very fancy 5-star hotel. She's just going about her business. She definitely has like social awkwardness and has a hard time reading social cues. She's very blunt. Doesn't really pick up on people's expressions, like the unsaid expression. She relies solely on what they say. She used to live with her gran at an apartment, but her gran recently died and she's really been struggling. Her gran kind of guided her through these social situations and how to act and engage with people. So now that she doesn't have her gran, she's kind of like out on her own and needing to figure things out for herself. One day at work, a very fancy, high-end businessman dies in his bed, and Molly's the first one to find him. He also has a young wife who is kind of like caught up in the media, and Mr. Black, he has some sketchy business dealings, and there might be more going on than people assume. So Molly gets taken into the detective's office for an investigation to be interrogated. Well, not interrogated, just to ask. Like, she was the first person to find the body, so she just needs to answer some questions. And her answer left me shocked. I was very surprised by that I was not expecting. And just figure out who actually killed him, because the police think it was potentially like natural causes, like a heart attack, or he really was truly murdered because he is this super rich, powerful dude. But I'm gonna go make breakfast and eat for a bit and do some other things because I'm kind of just glazed over and I've only been reading for 7 hours. And I still have 17 to go. But we can do it. We can do it. I have so many exciting books I want to read. Okay, 11:45, and we're going to start the timer again. 17 hours left. Molly is a lady of structure, discipline, organization, and guidance. She always talks to the little voice in her head that is her gran, and going through different quotes and phrases that her gran used to tell her, such as, good things come to those who wait. And she gives uses these as little pep talks to herself. And I like the structure of this book because it's going through Molly's week as the investigation goes on. So we start on hello. Okay, then. So we start on Monday, and now I'm on chapter 7, which is moved into Tuesday. I don't know how many days this goes through, but Molly is so concerned why people are asking her if she's okay. Like, she's the one who walked in and found the dead body of Mr. Black, and people are like, oh my gosh, Molly, like, are you alright? Like, are you traumatized? Like, you went down to the police station, you had to be part of an interrogation, you good? And she's so confused why people are asking her, like, yeah, I saw a dead body, but I'm at work now. She's very good at compartmentalizing her trauma, so it makes me wonder, did something happen before that has caused her like this? We found out that her parents basically up and left her when she was like 2, I think, with her grandma, her gran, and her gran raised her and basically taught her everything she knows. So far I'm enjoying this. I'm not blown away by it, but to be fair, I'm only 80 pages in, so we're still figuring it out. This guy is literally threatening this other guy to have people go pay his family in Mexico a visit. And Molly, she goes, how lovely that Rodney was concerned with the well-being of Juan Manuel's family, I thought. The more I got to know him, the more his true nature revealed itself to me. Oh, she's so sweet, and I fear the worst is going to happen, and that this book has taken a turn in literally the last 5 pages since I updated you. Please kind of suck, like, as if they wouldn't look there. But Molly, she's a good egg. She's a good egg. I'm gonna stop reading for a bit now. I have 15 hours and 40 minutes remaining. It's 10 after 1. It's time for lunch. I am enjoying this book. I want to know what she saw. If you know, you know. Like, what did she see that she's mentioned twice, but we don't know more? I am going to try my hardest to finish this book. I am on page 131 out of 285, so a little under halfway through. It is 1:50, so we're going to start our timer. 15 hours and 40 minutes left. I feel like I've been reading forever. I'm having a great time though. I am enjoying this. It's fun. I didn't tell the truth because the truth hurt. What happened at school was bad enough, but Gran knowing about my suffering meant she'd experience my pain too. Wow, what a good way to put into words why we don't necessarily share uncomfortable, bad things that happen to us. What a simple, simple gal to pay back a fellow for cleaning up a potentially criminal mess that Molly has found herself in. She wants to take him on a all expenses paid tour of Italy, where they sit at their own private booth at the Olive Garden. Followed by a universe of pasta topped with smorgasbord of sweet desserts. And somehow, when we're done, I will pick up the bill. Oh, what a little cute lady. My glasses are foggy, but I just got back from a walk with the dogs, and I'm gonna start back at it. I made it to page 207, so just about 80 pages left. I knew it. I have 17 pages left, so we're gonna start the timer. 13:23, and I'll give you my thoughts after I'm done. I would say this would be quick, but I don't know. I'm so glad to be done this book with 13 hours and 16 minutes remaining. Oh, this was brutal. I don't know what it was about it, but this took me all day to read. And like nothing happened, but we got so much detail. This was very long and dragged out. I'm just kind of at a loss for words. There was just not much to it. I give it like 3 stars. I don't think I'll think about this book again. I'm in no rush to read the second one. I don't even know. It's like right there. So like Molly this is like right in the beginning little blurb. Molly's becomes the prime suspect of Mr. Black's death, and it's basically her interrogation and her trying to prove her innocence, but literally everyone is doubting her. I did appreciate the slight shift of perspective at a couple points where you see the actions Molly takes and you're like, yeah, that's a little suspicious. That's a little weird. And I was waiting for a big, huge plot twist and I got like nothing. This book gave nothing. Kind of reminded me of the main character in Lessons in Chemistry. I forget what her name is. She's just very blunt, but socially awkward, doesn't know how to take social cues. I said this before, but yeah, it was just fine. This was a very wordy book and a lot longer than I think it needed to be, and especially for what was going on. Like, this book takes place over Monday to Friday, 5 days, and it wasn't really like the writing of it wasn't great. It was almost felt like dumbed down almost, and it was hard to read. I had to reread a bunch of different times because I was just like, what is going on? Not what is going on and like I didn't understand the plot, but like what it was trying to get at and like what is trying to be conveyed to me. So I did struggle through a bit. Yeah, I was just kind of bored at points, but I also wanted to know because I was expecting so much and it kind of disappointed me, kind of let me down a little bit. So 3 stars. I love how this is just me bopping around from the same 4 spots reading. But we're back with a different book. I'm starting Taylor Jenkins Reid's Carrie Soto is back. This is actually my book club book for January. So I thought no better time than now to start into it. I love Daisy Jones and the Six. It is my favorite book of all time. If you've been on my channel for a little bit, you'll know that. I love the TV show, love the book. I hope this has the same character depth as Daisy Jones and the Six. I also loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Don't really remember too much about that. I did read it pretty early on in my reading journey. Carrie Soto is a tennis player who's trying to make her comeback. She's making her comeback. But I've heard she can be a frustrating character, that she is kind of annoying and a little maybe rough around the edges. But as we saw in the very first book, I love Nesta. And Nesta was a little rough around the edges. So maybe, oh my god, I can't even talk. Maybe Carrie Soto will be my speed. I am going to attempt to sit here for maybe like 3 hours. It's almost 8 o'clock. My goal is to get to less than 10 hours to go after tonight. That was a lot of words, more words than were needed. This will be my 3rd full book if I finish it, which I hope this book doesn't take me 13 hours to read, but this is technically the 4th book of the video. I'm in it for the long haul, so I better get comfy. I'm not moving. I'm not moving until I have 10 hours left. Let's go. 76 page update. I'm enjoying this so far. I do like it. She is intense. She is an intense lady, loves tennis, and that has taken over her whole life. Her dad basically raised her. Her mom passed away early. This is not a spoiler. You learn about this in like the first 15 pages. Her mom passed away, so then her dad raised her, and he was an amazing tennis player back in like Argentina. And then he moved to the US, started up there, Carrie was born, and he basically made her a little protege, and tennis was her fate. She was destined to do that. It follows the highs and the lows of her career and follows her up until her peak, and then she gets injured and is forced into retirement. And that's where I'm at. She just announced she's retiring, so we're at the comeback. You can definitely see how her past affects her and her decision making, and how she tries to open herself up to other people and then gets shut back down. And there was one quote, and she literally says, "Love means nothing." And that's meaning in like tennis terms, when you're talking about scores, it's like 15 love. Love is 0. So she tells her dad, love means nothing. I hope that's not like foreshadowing for something that comes later, and that it literally was just love means 0. But I fear that's not the case, because she did have some lovers come and go throughout her later years, but no one really stuck around. Her dad seems like a really sweet guy, but again, it's hard to draw the line between like business, professional, and family, because he is her coach, and like how much do you push and where does the coaching end? I watched the movie about Serena Williams and like her career and stuff, and I don't know anything about tennis. I play for like fun a few times, but nothing serious. But I love learning about sports. I'm having a great time learning about the volleying and the rallying, the clay, the turf. Sometimes it's nice just to read like a normal fiction book where you're like, yeah, this 37-year-old woman can't just spontaneously heal herself, and she actually does have aging against her. It's like, yeah, she's gonna have to get back into shape and not rely on her fire-breathing dragon to save her ass every time she slips up, or having high fae magical mind powers to rely on to get information. Like, you're gonna have to go through assistance. What a concept! Fuck 'em, he says. You go in every goddamn match and you show them that you don't care what they think. You are not going anywhere. And I can see where people get the opinion that Carrie Soto is harsh, a little rude, a little closed off, says it how it is, but I support women's rights. More importantly, I support women's wrongs. And Carrie Soto, she can do no wrong. She treats people how she sees fit. Anyways, I'm falling asleep, so I'm going to bed. I got to page 169, and we have 10.5 hours. We're making progress. We're over halfway done. Happy Christmas Eve Eve! It is Monday, December 23rd at about 8:07. I thought I was ready for Christmas. I thought I had all my gifts looked after. I don't, and I am only realizing that now. So I have so much I need to do today. I still need to wrap all my gifts. I still need to go and pick up a few things. So we're not going to be sitting down and reading. We're putting a hold on Carrie Soto. But what we are going to listen to is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. Everyone and their freaking mother has talked about this book, and the second comes out next year. I've heard really good things about this, especially about the audiobook, that the narration is excellent. Let's dive right in. We're starting the timer with 10.5 hours to go. Okay. I didn't even tell you what this book is about. Check your trigger warnings. It's a dark romance with a stalker, but I think it's also like humorous and a little lighter, kind of like Black and Butcher and Blackbird. I think it's kind of along those vibes, but more dark. Like, the guy stalks the girl, and I've heard excellent things about the people who narrate it. It's a duet narration. So yeah. Anyways, okay. That's that. All I had to say. What is breath play? I will find out, but I've heard it talked about a couple times. I don't know if I just live under a rock, but I'm very curious to know what that all entails. Like, is it like ASMR where they whisper to each other? I will find out. These narrators have already won me over. They're so good. I'm making a bagel. That's what's beeping. I love this. Sometimes spicy scenes on, like, listening to them narrated can give me the ick and make me cringe. Not this. Not this. I didn't realize that she was obsessed with him first. Kind of, I think. Honestly, I don't really know, but what her obsession is, or what her guilty pleasure, not obsession, her guilty pleasure. Love it, love it. I am going to pause at 9 hours and 30 minutes. It's shortly after 9 now. I'm about an hour into the audiobook. I'm loving it. It's so fun. It is so fun. I'm having a grand old time wrapping presents. And they're under the tree. Wrapping presents and listening to Josh be the little creeper that he is with his mask on. And it's dual POV. We get both Josh and Allie's POV. What more could you want? What more could you want? And it's right after the Christmas season. Fa la la la. Okay, anyways. Talk to you when I start listening again. I am obsessed. Fred is my favorite when he's trying to film himself in the mirror and then along comes Fred. I love this book so much. More than I love gingerbread cookies. And she's had an extremely long shift at work and it's 3 a.m. and he shows up in her car, but, there is a loaded gun and a knife on the passenger seat. In case she feels threatened, she can use it on him. Sir? Sir? Where do I find me one? Dustin, get your shit together, sir. Boo, motherfucker. I'm having such a good time reading this book. I'm on chapter 8, but I am gonna pause here. So we have 7 hours and 5 minutes remaining. I gotta get to work. I'm gonna listen to it on my way. I'm counting that as time towards reading. So I'm not gonna really talk just because I need to get to work and from work, but I'll like record myself starting and stopping the clock. You'll see, you'll see. I'm just not gonna say much, so cheers.
Too fast for rational thought to stand a chance.
You ready for breakfast? I asked. Fred chirruped in response and jumped from the bed.
I'm not typically one to be embarrassed about what I read, but when our main character has the hots for horror masked stalker and my audiobook starts playing out loud in front of my boss for I don't even know how long, and he walks past my phone, then I have a bit of an issue. Anyways, I'm gonna start playing. 6:24. Can you see anything? Yeah, you can. Okay. I'm on my way home from chores.
She met my eyes before shifting to watch the...
It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna do some coloring in my Disney coloring book. I'm gonna do Zazu, that little fella, from The Lion King. Okay, so let's start the clock again. 5.5 hours to go. I'm falling asleep listening to this. I need to go to bed. I'm so tired, but only 3.5 hours left. I'm gonna finish up tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get up early and get it done. Finish up this video. I'm having a great time listening to this book. One point, Allie's like, oh, it sounded like a front door shut. But I'm sure it's not. Honey, you have a stalker. Everything should be concerning to you. And it's like, listening to Josh talk, like Allie's just as nuts as him, but I'm just as nuts as both of them because I'm like, Allie, don't be so stupid. He's the love of your life. Don't push him away. Accept what he's doing. He's doing it for the goodness of his heart. Just be okay with it. It's fine that he's creeping you and watching you through the camera he put in your bedroom. It's fine. He loves you. He loves you. I like that we get little tidbits of their history and their background. They both have like their own issues with their past that they're trying to work through and that impact them day to day, but I'm sorry, I can barely keep my eyes open. Okay. Good night. A reference to Daisy Jones and the Six. I love it. Love when the universes collide. The character development in this book. I have about 100 pages left, but I'm stopping. 1 hour, 54 minutes. Less than 2 hours to go. Happy Christmas Eve! I'm losing my shit a little bit. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve. Didn't really talk too much this morning. I read for like an hour and a half in bed and we have less than 2 hours to go. Oh, I'm so excited to finish this up. I loved it. It's been so much fun, but it's exhausting reading this much. Who would have thought? And honestly, I think my back is starting to hurt from sitting for so long, for such extended amounts of time, but I have some things I need to get ready for Christmas this afternoon, so I'm gonna listen to my audiobook, Lights Out, the same audiobook that we've been listening to for the last couple days. So let me just get her pulled up. Okay, we're on chapter 14, playing, and starting the timer. See you in a bit. Wouldn't want to inconvenience her by knocking on the door, because then she'd have to get up and answer it. So we'll just avoid that issue and have a key made that she doesn't know about. It's supposed to be scary. Why is he considerate? Like, she's had a long shift, had a lot going on. Wouldn't want her to get to her feet to answer the door. I'll just let myself in with the key I made. What? What? Oh. It did give me the ick thinking of him in the kitchen with the mask. That kind of like made me cringe the more I think about it, but I'm having a jolly good old time. I am pausing Lights Out at the knife scene. If you know, you know. Ah, I love it. But I only have an hour left. Crazy to say, and I would really like to finish one more book. I'm not gonna finish Lights Out because I still have 6.5 hours left of the audiobook. So I'm going to finish Carrie Soto is Back. Just thought I'd give you a little update on my reading, where I'm at. So yeah, an hour and 2 minutes remaining and it's almost 9:30. So we will be done around 10:30. 24 hours, baby. I am literally on the last page. So I'm gonna read a little bit longer than 24 hours. I loved this book. I am giving it 4 stars, I think. It was a really good book and I think I will go back and think about it a few times. I did annotate it, so that was fun too and way more engaging. This book was just all about tennis. I wish we got to see a little bit more to Carrie, but at the same time, her whole life was tennis and this book was following her journey coming back. So I did enjoy it. I didn't hate Carrie. Like, I feel like a lot of people find her annoying and harsh and rude, and like her nickname in the book is the bitch. I didn't find that, but again, I like those types of characters. She was very similar to Nesta, very headstrong. This book did not play out how exactly I thought it was going to, which was fun. It was sad. There was also like bouts of happiness in there too. thoroughly enjoyed reading about tennis, and I feel like I know so much more about it. And then I want to go hit the courts and play. There are some really deep points in this book. The blue annotations are some of the more like profound things. Something so sweet is that the guy she starts seeing, he doesn't speak Spanish. Oh, that's one thing. In this book, there's a lot of Spanish. I don't speak any Spanish whatsoever. I don't think I missed any important plot points by not knowing what they were saying, but I probably missed some stuff for sure. But the one guy in here, he doesn't speak any Spanish, and then he asks a lady to help translate some phrases he wants to say from English to Spanish so that he can tell Carrie. And that was so sweet, so sweet. Let's just do a little recap of the books I have read and the one book I listened to. So these are the books that I read. We have 4 of them here. The first book I finished but didn't start in this video, Court of Silver Flames, 5 stars, hands down, love of my life. Cannot say enough good things about this. Then it was Swift and Saddled. This was a meh book for me, kind of a letdown compared to the expectations I had for it. So this was a 3.75. The Maid, a nice little palate cleanser, crime, thriller, mystery type of book. It was 3 stars. Enjoyed it, had a good time, won't be thinking much about it again. But I will continue reading the other books in the series because I hope I will get more attached to the characters the farther on we go. There are 3 other books out, I think. And then the audiobook I started in between Lights On, Lights Out. I'm having such a good time reading it. There is very minimal plot outside of the stalker romance. Like the stalker romance is the plot and there's a lot of spice, but I'm having a wonderful time listening to it. The narration is as good as everybody says it is, so highly, highly recommend you listen to the audiobook. And then, just as we talked about, Taylor Jenkins reads, Carrie Soto is back. Lived up to the expectations. I actually think I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, so I am pleasantly surprised about that. Thank you so much for joining me these last 24 hours. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!